A friendly desert community where the sun is hot, the moon is beautiful, and mysterious lights pass overhead while we all pretend to sleep. Welcome to Night Vale.
Picked an excellent place to spend the night. Excellent place.
Rusty Quill presents
This penumbra is the grandest, countless rooms size halls. Just look at countless rooms and countless halls. Just look at even we aren't sure. See the doors go on and on. We aren't sure.
This is the audio log of Communications Officer.
Episode 1.
Good.
I am
Number draws guests from everywhere.
station.
Number draws guests from everywhere.
To start things off, I've been asked to read this brief notice. The City Council announces the opening of a new dog park at the corner of Grove and Somerset near the Rallies. They would like to remind everyone that dogs are not allowed to use the dog park. It is possible that you will see hooded figures in the dog park. Do not approach them.
Test.
Do not
1, 2, 3.
approach the dog park. The fence is electrified.
My name is Jonathan Sims. I work for the
Try not
Magnus
to look at the
Institute
dog
in
park,
London,
and
an
especially
organisation
not
dedicated to
see
academic
the
research of the
signs
esoteric and the paranormal.
The dog park
The head of the
will not
institute,
launch.
Mr. Elias Bouchard, has employed me to
And now
replace
the
the
news.
previous head archivist,
Old woman
one
Josie
Gertrude
stands in
Robinson,
the car lot
who has
says
recently
the
passed
angels
away.
revealed themselves to her.
I've been working as a researcher at the institute for 4 years now, and I'm familiar with most of our more
One of them
significant
was
contracting
black.
projects.
Said they helped
Most
her with
reach
various
dead ends,
household
predictably enough,
chores.
as
One of
instances
them
of the
changed light
supernatural,
bulbs
such
for
as
her.
they are, and I always emphasized
She's
a
offering to sell the old light bulb, which
cases
has been
tends
touched
to
by
resist
an
these
angel.
conclusions.
It was the black.
Here's the thing.
When an investigation has gone as far as it can, it is transferred to the archive.
Contact old
Now,
woman Josie.
the institute was founded in 1818, which means that the archive contains almost 200 years of case files at this point.
What does he
You leave a
do?
name
Combine
reader.
that with the fact that most of
Why
the
is
institute
perfect?
prefers the ivory tower
Never
of
heard
pure
of it. Tell him I'm out.
academia to the complicated work of dealing with statements
Says he is
of
a
recent
scientist.
experiences,
Well,
and you have the recipe for an impeccably organized library and an absolute mess of an archive. This isn't necessarily a problem. Modern filing and indexing systems are a real wonder, and all it would need is a half-decent archivist to keep it in order.
the one next to Big
Gertrude Robinson is apparently not that archivist. From where I am sitting, I can see thousands of files, many spread loosely around the place, others crushed into unmarked boxes. A few have dates on them or helpful labels such as 86-91G/H.
Make sure there's
Not
a
only
shade.
that, but most of them appear to be handwritten or produced on a typewriter, with no accompanying digital or audio versions of any sort. In fact, I believe the first computer to ever enter this room is the laptop that I brought in today. More importantly, it seems as though little of the actual investigations have been stored in the archives, so the only thing in most of the files are the statements themselves. It's going to take me a long time to organize this. I've managed to secure the services of 2 researchers to assist me. Well, technically 3, but I don't count Martin as he's unlikely to contribute anything but delays. I plan to digitize the files as much as possible and record audio versions, though some will have to be on tape recorder, as my attempts to get them on my laptop have met with significant audio distortion. Alongside this, Tim, Sasha, and, yes, I suppose Martin, will be doing some supplementary investigations to see what details may be missing from what we have. I'll try to present these in as succinct a fashion as I can at the end of each statement. I can unfortunately promise no order in regards to date or theme of the statements that are recorded, and can only apologize to any future researcher attempting to use these files for their own investigations. That's probably enough time spent making my excuses for the statements.
There is no word yet.
And I suppose we have to be doing something.
This will affect the Niceville Mountain Mining
Statement Nathan Watt regarding an encounter on Old Fish Market Road.
Desert Bluff.
Edinburgh.
Mask then.
Original
Does it
statement
show
given
H1
April
always
22nd, 2012.
Suspects
Audio recording by Jonathan
Priestess
St.
Kanagawa still
Head
has
archivist
flashy
of the Magnet
X-rays.
Institute,
London.
London.
Commercial jets into
Station begin.
delaying practice
Until
for
he
several
opens very much
days.
This all happened a couple of years ago, so I apologize if some of the details are a bit off.
something about
I mean, I feel like I remember it clearly, but sometimes things are so weird that something out this one. Still, I suppose weird is kind of what you guys do, right?
Like a military.
So I'm studying at the University of Edinburgh,
His hair,
biochemistry specifically, and I was in my second year at the time this happened.
Twice my usual.
I wasn't in any sort of university accommodation at this point and was renting a student flat down in Southside with a few other second years. To be honest, I didn't hang out with them much. I took a gap year before matriculating, and my birthday's in the wrong part of September, so I was nearly 2 years old for most of my course when I started.
Like hell you are.
It's a required term of
I got on with it fine, you understand, but I tended to end up hanging out with some of the older students. That's why I was at the party in the first
what was
place.
going on
Michael
around
McCauley,
here.
a good friend of
He
mine,
grinned.
had just been accepted to do a master's degree in earth sciences, so we decided a celebration was in order.
You should be there, sure.
Well, maybe party isn't quite the right word, we just kind of invaded the almanac down on the Royal Mile and drank long enough and loud enough that eventually we had the back area to ourselves. Now, I don't know how well you know the drinking holes of Edinburgh, but the almanac has a wide selection of excellent single malts,
I fear for
and I may have slightly
they
overindulged.
know
So that's
and
I
what
have
they don't
Sorry,
get.
Sasha.
vague memories of Mike suggesting I slow down, to which I responded by roundly swearing at him for failing to properly celebrate his own good news.
I'll tell you what I'm insisting about, Sasha.
Words to
Not
that
getting
effect.
gutted by a bunch of mobsters with
Long
a TV
story
station.
short, I
Do you know the
was
last thing Priestess said to me?
violently ill around
Which is a
midnight
little hard to
and
hear
made the
because
decision
he's
to walk
pushing
the
it,
route
but I think
home.
The Night Vale
It
Business
wasn't far to my
Association
Whoever set
flat.
foot in
Half an hour might be great. And the night was cool enough that I remember having a hope that the chill would perk me up
Face was
some.
lean.
I have been to
I
these
headed to
facilities.
Anyway, that's not the
recently.
point. I'm not going
to
back
get
yet.
rush in the Royal Mile is down all
Priestess
50
Kanagawa
coast.
cronies that Juno steals
Now,
from
I'm sure you don't need me to tell you the relative details in Edinburgh,
Docking
but
areas,
Old Fish Market closes exceptionally
Agent
to
Glass.
most that.
material.
All
Only
right.
to my
The
mother.
current must reach a 30 or 40-degree angle, which is hard enough to navigate when you don't have how much
off,
space
Rita.
inside you. As I
Funny, you
mentioned,
never
I
cared
had
about these films
quite a
before.
lot, so
Oh, come.
he wasn't that surprising when I took a rather nasty tumble about halfway down the street.
in the middle of a desert.
In retrospect, the fall wasn't that bad compared to what it could have been, but at the time it really shook me up.
And that is a definite
nasty
cause.
bruises.
Keeps getting better. I am not
I picked
being
myself
thrown
up
around
as
by
best
some
I
jerk
could,
with
and I hadn't seriously injured myself, no broken bones or anything.
I'll never forget you.
Decided to roll a
Did
cigarette
not
to calm
provide any
myself.
specific remedies for this
Now,
problem,
when I heard
but they assured
There's a
me
right way to
that
talk to
these
everyone.
would
Can I have a
be a
cigarette?
big boost to Night
I
Vale.
was
hoping
startled
that
out of my thoughts by the words. I thought I had been alone.
Flash flood and
Just like
down
that.
Quickly tried to compose myself, and looking around I noticed
You know.
a small alleyway in the opposite
What do you know
side.
so far?
the local chapter
learned
of the
that
Alliance
now
is
security
selling bumper
detectives
stickers
are
as part of their
A short
campaign.
staircase leading out.
They sent the station
See a
one
light
to
switch a little way up the wall of
and
the
we're
temple.
5 years in the academy.
It either wasn't working or
Well,
wasn't
to begin
turned
with,
on.
Priestess
Came
Kanagawa's
beyond the
dead.
steps
stickers are made from
crowd
good, sturdy
opened
vinyl,
up.
and they read,
Stood there,
Guns don't kill
a couple of
people.
stairs from the street.
Good, we can get right to the juicy
we are
part.
It was
all
hard to tell much
convinced
about them.
bullets
They were mostly in the
here.
shadows, so if I had to guess, I would
No,
have said the
no.
voice
The
had
ancient
changed.
scribes
in our
They
age.
seemed to sway
But
ever so
whosoever
slightly as I
disturbs the
walked,
mask will
and I
have his
assumed
life
that them,
come on.
like me, would
Dark
probably
Matters really
enjoy it.
wastes its time on fairy tales.
I lit my own cigarette,
You got this.
held out my
Carlos
tobacco
and his
towards them,
Absurd, isn't it?
warned that one
Kanagawa
And
was
after
found
they
wearing
were
a
able
mask,
to
the
roll
death
out,
report said.
I think it didn't mean
elementary
that
school.
except it
Dozens
continued
of
Last
to
generation's
extend
fairy
its
tale
life.
is this generation's
Writing it down now,
like
it
it
seems
exists.
so obvious that something was
Explain
wrong. If I hadn't been so drunk, maybe I'd have noticed
Oh well,
much of
Just
it.
it's gotten me to
When the
Mars.
stranger asked
two
me
other
to
identical houses, so it would make more sense for it to be
utterly
there.
without
No.
explanation.
Oh, we
But
did.
he
Still, I didn't
says they have done
understand why I
experiments
was so
and the house
Kanagawa's
is
in their way
definitely not
insisted.
there.
I
First they
scanned
wanted to
At
send
noontime,
Priestess's
the
son to
scientists
test
were
it.
standing on the
began
campus
to
on the
adjust
sidewalk in front of the
A special for his
non-existent
stream, they
house,
called it.
daring each
When
other
we
to
declined,
go
they said they wouldn't
beyond
allow
the
us into that one of the
Right.
phones. My mother did.
A great howling was heard
Yes,
from the
deep
Night
down,
Vale post office.
slightly sunken.
Rita!
They had a
Postal
bad
workers claim no knowledge
Rita!
Although passers-by describe the sound as being a low-life human soul being destroyed through
At this point, I
violence.
was rolling a second cigarette.
The Indian
Gingerly
tractor,
held down towards
I
him.
don't know if you've seen this guy
Not
around.
any closer.
He's the one that appears to be of maybe
years ago,
Slavic
decided that
origin.
son,
He
weirdo
wears an
wanted a
Indian
cigarette.
dress
They were
as
going
some
to need to come
racist
out of the
cartoon
creepy
claims
alleyway.
to be able to read tractor
They didn't come
maps.
close, they didn't
That's
make
right,
any
Edward,
leaps
everything.
at all, except for
And
that
swore that he would
sway.
discover the
Lucky
truth.
boy.
For some
No
reason,
one
the thought of
responded
the
because it's
mango
really hard to
in
take
my
him
head.
Oh, Juno.
The single
I'm
point of
old.
light dangled in the darkness.
Isn't this exciting? Off to solve a murder, to prove an ancient
Like
curse, and despite all that, I
the
feel as though
sky
by the time
above
He
the
spoke again in
audience.
the same flat voice, and I realized
Glowing
exactly
signs
sound
what
like
was
that
wrong.
scares you.
Honestly, it doesn't.
Its mouth was
Perhaps
closed.
you've been
It
poorly
had been the whole
informed.
time, but
You see, according to legend, Gray's ghost takes a subcorporeal form
We've
in
caught on to
contact
that.
with animal bones, serrated brass,
We
and
understand
bone.
the
He
lights
tears
above
each the
our
target.
thought they weren't quite
You get in the car,
invaded the bigger moon right now.
His form was being lifted, ever so
But
slightly.
even if you are shown his
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
talons of an
creases, you hand it off to a tall woman.
nothing.
I dropped the cigarette on the ground and my phone turned to turn on the torch.
And it's gone
I don't know why I didn't run or what I hoped to see in that alley, but I
Kind
wanted
of
to
got
get a better look.
easier than most.
As soon as I took out my phone, the figure disappeared.
I'm
It sort
always
of
ready to go.
folded at the waist and vanished back into the darkness, as if a string had gone
Kanagawas
taut.
must really love this one.
Seismic monitors,
I turned on the torch and stared into the alley,
Kanagawa's been for the
but I saw nothing.
which is to say that most of them don't make it
Just
round.
silent
Teams, the
and
ones that do
dark.
are crafty.
Imagine what's heavily stacked.
Staggered back up to the Royal Mile, which still had lights and
Those are savvy rabbits.
found a
Behind
taxi
I'm
to take me home.
carrots.
I slept late
Between muscle and firepower, the staff
I'd made sure I didn't have lectures or classes as I had intended to
You know,
after heavy
just me,
night
or you
drinking.
noticed every
I
single
guess I
one of
was,
those claim dudes.
although it was that bizarre encounter that kept paying. And so, after making my way through 2 liters of water, some pain from a very greasy breakfast, I felt human enough to lose my
Kanagawa's pretty like that.
Regale.
Most of them don't make it past 16.
Yeah, most
the ones that
The
do
result
crafty,
was
they'll sell you like straight off.
unenlightening.
It's a little
There were
much.
no marks,
Those
no
are savvy
blood
rabbits.
stains,
Behind I'm
nothing
used
to
to
the
the
way
carrots.
it
Some
had ever
people
been
never
there before.
This must be your first visit to
The
Mars.
only thing I did
Keep your
find
limbs
was
safe.
an unsmoked
know.
Marlboro red
Stepmother's a
cigarette
good cook.
What do they
lying
do
just
at
below the
Greece?
burned out light fixture.
Not exactly a household
Beyond
name.
that,
They would like to remind you
know
Until
what to do.
stars of
I did as much
stream
research as I
scream
could
by
on the
day,
place,
kingdoms of the
but
criminal
couldn't find anyone
around
who
by
had any
day.
experience
But that's
similar to
all.
mine.
I want to
There didn't seem to be any folklore or
They
urban
go.
legends
Regale.
to find out
They got
about.
most of stars and kings.
The few friends I'd told about what
They've
happened
been
just
losing money
said I'd been accosted by some stranger. The alcohol had made it seem much clearer than it was. I tried to explain that I'd never had any sessions while
This is
gone,
Edge,
that there was
too.
no way this guy had just been a normal person.
I don't think Priest
They always gave me one of those looks,
And you,
halfway between pity
where do
and
you
concern.
change yourself down? Because you gave
Priest did
Christian.
I never did find out.
Last time I was here, sometime after I saved his
A few
son,
days later, I saw something personal.
he asked
Go
me
up
what
on
kind
the
of show
campus.
someone would choose.
Another student
told him,
disappeared.
whatever my
John
son.
Fellows, his name was, though.
Take that for
I
an
didn't really know
answer.
the
Still
guy.
hadn't paid me. I said, you know what, Princess? Right now, I think I'd pay 10,000 credits to watch you take a deep, deep hole in a corner or something.
Being at that same party, and as far as I remember, still being there when I left.
After he beat the tar out of me,
Whoever
like
was
in the
just
desert, dug a deep, deep
Agent
hole.
Rex
on
Glass,
the
you've
photo
done
they
it.
used for this person. I couldn't have noticed. There was a pack of Marlboro red cigarettes poking out of the package.
Allow me to get that door.
I haven't quit smoking, but I do find that
Chivalry runs in the blood. Show your heart. Just you,
Statement
and 10 billion viewers.
The investigation at the time and the follow-up we've done over the last couple of days have found no evidence to corroborate Mr. Watts' account of his experience. I was initially inclined to refile the statement in the discredited section of the archive, a new category I've created which will, I suspect, be housing the majority of my holdings. However, Sasha did some digging into the police reports of the time, and it turns out that between 2005 and 2010, when Mr. Watts encountered out a supposedly good place. There were 6 disappearances in and around the old fishing
Anything
close.
seriously.
Jessica McEwen in November 2005, Sarah Baldwin in August 2006, Daniel Rawlings in December of the same year, then Ashley Dobson and Megan Shaw in May and June of 2008.
This isn't about
Finally, Mr. John Bell in March 2010.
Technically speaking,
All 6
the literature
disappearances
suggests that the
remain
walking ghost
unsolved.
grin keeps one's conscience
Baldwin and Shaw were definitely smokers.
Literature can suggest
There's no
whatever it wants,
evidence either
there are no
way.
goddamn ghosts.
We're in a pulse. You seem knowledge shorter than this.
Sasha did find one other thing,
You signed it?
specifically in the case of Ashley Dobson.
We both already
It was a
signed.
copy of the last photograph taken by her phone sent to her sister Siobhan. The caption was, "Check out the strong creep, LOL." But the picture was of a darkened, apparently empty alleyway with stairs leading up into it. It appears to be the same alleyway which Mr. Watts described in his statement, the one that, according to maps of the area, is square.
Now repeat
There
after
doesn't seem to be
me.
anyone in the photograph at all.
Forfeit my
Sasha considers the
soul
running
to
of
great
editing
Rimbo
programs
Focus.
The sun
increasing the contrast appears to reveal the
And I
outlines
really
of the
wish I had
large
checked in with my old friends more
roughly
before
across the
I
waist
died.
level on the main of average height.
definitely said.
I
And I
find it really hard
also
to see
regret
across
this
the
haircut
impressions.
because
I
wow,
asked them
I
if they
look
had any explanations, but
awful.
they did not.
Sandra, I know it's you. Just get the hell out here already.
Murmuring and cooing.
The Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill. Licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike International license. Today's episode was written and performed by Jonathan
The next
Sims.
time the sun
It was
rises,
produced and
whatever
directed
time
by
the sun
Alexander
rises,
We had more in
James.
common with
take a moment to
To
feel
comment on
grateful
episodes,
for all
make
the
donations and
small
view links, images, videos, and show notes. Visit
There was a head trained in there.
rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes. Visit us on Facebook. Tweet us on
The City
Twitter
Council
at
would
The
like to
Rusty
know
Quill
about
or
the
email
heavens.
at mail@rustyquill.com.
Suddenly, the mask snapped open like an accordion.
Thanks
The
for
reminder
listening.
Whatever word
is that
it
you
was
should
like,
not know
three little
anything about
three little
this.
heads, each with two
The structure of
eyes,
heaven and
noses,
the angelic organizational chart are privileged information, known only to the City Council members on a need-to-know basis. Please,
Who knows what else
do
this
not
thing
speak
does?
to or acknowledge
this is your
any
dad's
angels
season.
that you may come across while shopping at the Ralphs
This is
or at the
kind of
Desert
a
Flower
problem.
Bowling Alley and
Sorry for your loss.
They only tell lies.
Played by Zach Valente.
Sorry isn't really the
Proportional
word.
angel sightings
There is
and
the
the
Kira was played by Michaela
Hissed is
Sweet.
a good one.
Original music by
Busy.
Helen Rohde. And audio
Too busy to
recording by
deal
Jared
with now
Paulson.
that all of Dad's old
Tonight's
business
space
is my
transmission
place.
was
And that's
The
why we
Entertainer
Can they
by
kill
Scott
your
Joplin.
children?
thought I could rely
Want more
on
tips on how to
Yes.
survive in the
So
cold,
are you gonna take
unforgiving
care of it or
void
not?
of
Along
space?
those lines,
Not a janitor.
Visit
get personal.
359.fm.
I think the best way to die would be
359
I'm
radio
gonna go
for
as
information on our show.
responsibilities from our
going
brothers.
feet first and whole into a slimy maw would give your life perfect
Excuse me, Junebug. I'm filming a special News Scout today that's running behind schedule. Our prison riot was supposed to start half an hour ago.
Doing God's
Speaking of the
work.
Desert Flower
No business
Bowling
like show
Alley
business.
Arcade Fun
Todd, you know.
Complex,
Huge applause.
its owner, Teddy Williams, reports that
Oh,
it is
no,
now the
you know,
entrance
of
to a vast underground
Alright, Glass, you wanna
city
stop drooling over the mask so we can look around?
of
No need.
Five.
Completed my investigation.
He said he has not yet ventured
Fine line
into
between
it,
bluff and
merely
hallucinating
peered
glass, and you
down
passed
at
it 10 miles
Allow me to
back.
get that.
spires and
Oh, did I?
broad avenues.
After you. A completely
He also
cylindrical room in
reported
the center of
voices
perfectly
of
convoy
a
display
crowd in
case
the
which
depths
until
of
last
that
night housed only Grimm's
subterranean
mask.
metropolis.
Its glass is smashed on one side. The mask
Apparently,
is certainly the cause of
the
death.
entrance was
If you look at
discovered
the
when
remains
a
of the skull,
bowling
you'll see that
ball
the tearing
accidentally
lines
rolled
Stick to the
into
room
it,
for my sake.
clattering down to the
short, the
city
mask
below
killed him.
with sounds that
I doubt
echoed
it did
for
so without
miles
assistance.
across the
You
impossibly
think someone took it out,
huge
shoved it
cavern.
onto his head, and then shoved his head
So
in the
you
case.
know,
That wouldn't be necessary.
whatever
Yes,
population
really.
that city
Miss
has,
Kanagawa, do you mind if we conduct our
they know
investigation?
about us now.
I'm afraid you'll have to step back from the body
We
so
might
that
be
Detective
hearing
Steele
from
can
them
push from any direction. You
are
via
the
detective to swallow the victim
You aren't
whole.
afraid of a little blood, are you?
Oh, and
Carlos,
there's one last
perfect
thing.
and
it
beautiful,
was
a killer's
came
lot
into our
That
studios
metal
during
can
the
tell you
break
all that?
earlier,
It looked like somebody popped a
declining to
balloon
stay
full of
for an
That's his
interview.
signature. Inside the
He had
glass.
some sort of
wasn't budging,
blinking
so
box
I
in
took
his
a deep
hand
breath
covered with
there, and I
wires
stuck
and
my
Come
hand
now,
inside.
brave detective.
said he was
There was
testing
something
the
on the
place
crease of
for
his
blood,
materials.
Didn't look
I don't
like
know
any
what
kind of
wasn't the
materials
blood
you
that was the
meant,
problem.
but that box
It was more like a
sure
big
After what the
was
mask had done to
cheap
creases, the
color.
inside of that case looked like
When he
someone
put
had
it close
popped
to
a
the
balloon
microphone, it
pasta
sounded
bolognese.
like, well,
The glass was
like a
right.
bunch of baby birds
Finger
had
had
just
traced
woken
two
up.
ancient Chinese characters in the mess inside of that
for the
case.
next year.
Carlos
You haven't
was
even seen
nervous.
that part. Step
I've
aside.
never
Shen
seen
Long.
that kind of look.
Name ring any bells, Junior?
Suddenly the mask snapped
All
open
the
like
wrong
an
ones.
accordion.
He left in a hurry.
Triad
wore it
left
would
it
have
at
looked
their
like
Told
boss's
us to
code name.
evacuate the
They
building.
signed it at the
Little
sight of all
heads,
their
each
big
with too many
political
eyes and
murders.
noses and
Who
other
would be
things.
Kind of a
eager to
calling
talk
card.
sweetly
Ooh,
to
an
the
invitation.
you out
Well,
there.
Mind if I'm your +1?
The thing had tried to split
Settling
his one
into
big
the
head.
Pretty good investigation, Glass. You impress me.
It won't be the last time, I promise. Amazing.
Not everything,
I hope
though.
all of
One
you
can
out
well,
there
suppose I
have
did skip a
someone
few
to speak
details I
through
found
at
trifling.
least.
But if you'd like to talk about the
Or
wallpaper patterns
at
detected,
least
by all means.
good
display
memories of
case.
when you did.
You said it was smashed.
It is?
Broken into, maybe, but not smashed. The cut is perfectly circular. The broken glass is all on the inside, see?
All that?
Looks like someone cut into the glass to weaken it and pushed creases through it.
Welcome to
She's
Night
referring to the
Vale,
triad
production
ritual, do you
of
think?
commonplace
Look here,
books.
a set of
It
two
is written
DNA
by Joseph
blocks
Fink
set to
and
open
Jeffrey
Worth
correct
hearing what
genetic
the
and
family
sequences
produced by
has to say
Joseph
about
Fink.
Only the people
The voice
correct
of
the
Triad's not the kind of mess
Cecil
you want
Walsh.
to kick unless you're really,
Original
really
music
sure it's
by
the right one.
Disparition.
Let me get this
All of it
Gangsters
can
and
be
stream
downloaded
stars
for
and
free
kicking
at
nests.
Disparition.info.
you do an exciting life.
This episode.
Why don't you go talk to the family and I'll conduct my investigation on this mask here.
Dad wanted to make sure this
Gala
thing was
Manor isn't the
Check
kind
out
of place you want to be alone in.
So we got
commonplacebooks.com
two.
for
We're going together.
But Dark Matters.
We'll
as
pack
well
up
as
the
a
mask
book
and bring it back to my
story
office.
ideas of
You can look at it
H.P.
there.
Lovecraft and
Oh,
what
all
it
right.
means to be a grown-up.
I've never been good at
Today's
waiting,
proverb
Junior.
You keep looking at me like
Better
that, and I'm gonna
keep
knock your eyes right out of your
Keep
skull.
looking.
Steel.
Try
What?
it.
Nothing
That's how I look at all my
coming
friends.
from
I didn't want it to be
Shot
them.
at being murderers.
You little.
Miss Kanagawa,
Funny
would
thing
you
of mine
interrupt
where I
any of your
like my
family's
fingers to
plans
stay
for
on my
morning if I
hands.
were to remove the
So
mask?
before we left, I
have
had to
some
make sure there
readings
were
I'd
no
like to
other
run.
options. And if anyone in
Whatever.
Kanagawa's
Knock
house could
yourself
help me
out.
figure that out,
Say
it
hi to
was
Creases for
Cassie.
me.
You stay out here, Glass. Cassandra's a little
Anytime.
testy.
How dull.
Gotta admit, it's
Never
weird
introduced me to
seeing
your
Creases in
friends.
there. Knew they'd call me
Open
in
up.
to investigate
It's
it
the
one
police.
day, but I always thought he'd be the killer, not the victim.
Juno, it's
Don't
you.
count him out yet.
Hello,
Dad
Cassandra.
found a way
Wow,
to shoot
Juno, you
everyone he
look
ever met.
terrible.
Death's
What
got its
happened? You
work
let
cut
someone
out
test
for
their
it.
jackhammer on your face?
I didn't notice. Mind
If
if
you
I
don't mind
come
my
in?
saying, Cass, you don't sound all
Hey,
that
who's
upset
the
the old
spook?
man's
Don't
dead.
mind him, Cass.
cheese you
He's just here about your dad. Let's talk about
No.
this inside.
No, he didn't
Rex,
actually.
stay here.
It's just
Woof woof.
this is a lot easier if I pretend he did.
All right, you got 3 minutes and then you're gone. I'm busy.
I can see that. It's a hell of a mess in here.
I'm
So what
packing
were
and
you
getting
looking for
out of
when you
here.
first came in here?
I've had
What are you
enough
talking
of this
about?
place.
Come on, it doesn't take a
During a
genius to
murder
figure it out.
investigation?
When you step through that door,
Pretty
the first
easy
thing
way
you
to
did
get
was look
locked
behind
up,
the plant.
Cass.
You'd have to
Not that hard
handcuff
to
me to
find
the
Creases.
bedpost
He's right in
if
front
you
of
want
my
me to
love
stick
letter on
around
the
this
wall.
dump. I'm so
Just
free
one
the
good
birds get
push.
jealous.
That's
You're
all it would
cheery.
take with one
Inside tip from a former cop, Cassandra. Leaving the planet
Rex,
when you're a
kind of in the
suspect
middle of
in
an
a murder
interrogation over
investigation
here.
makes it look a whole lot like you got something to hide.
Something to hide? In this place? I had to go on strike just to get a private
Interrogation,
bathroom
huh?
installed, and even that one's
You
got a
haven't changed a
camera
bit.
inside the
Just
stall.
trying to lay it all out on the table
If
for
that's
you, Cass.
private, then
You can lie to me as much as you want, but I'm
Never
going to
mind.
figure it all out eventually.
I don't
and
wanna
it's
know.
not going to look good for you if you start fibbing.
The hell
look,
happened
I
to you,
get it.
Juno?
You want to leave.
Used to be.
But you've always
I don't
wanted to
know,
leave. What's
fun.
the rush now?
You and I might have called it fun, Cass.
If I
but
tell you
mine's
the
ever had
story,
a
we'll get
slightly
the hell
different
outta here?
interpretation.
If the story's good enough, sure.
Look, I'm not
Fine.
saying you killed him.
Crease has finally agreed not
I
to
am
renew
saying
my
you better
contract.
start talking if you want to persuade me otherwise.
Really?
Look,
You told me your
what if I
shows
had
were
one of
worth
those
too much for him to let
those
you
lullaby
go.
They
things?
are.
I hope you mean alibi.
just got sick of
Cass,
hearing
because I'm
about it,
really
I
not in the mood
guess.
for a nap.
Yeah, that.
I was
out
supposed
all
to get
night
out of
last
here
night
next week.
with my bodyguards and driver.
Crease is croaking like that
The car has
causes
a
a lot of
timestamp
trouble
camera
for
feed
me,
too.
Juno,
Here,
and besides,
I'll bring it up on my comms.
Besides what?
The footage looked all right.
I never got it in writing.
Cassandra Kanagawa lounging in a stretch limo with half a dozen bodyguards.
I'm sorry,
and room enough
Cass.
for
I
a dozen
really
more.
am.
She flipped forward 2 hours.
All
and
right,
the
you
stream
asked
showed
me a
her
question,
drinking
now
at
I
a
get to ask
chauffeur.
you.
Another 2 hours,
Just
and
like
she was
old
shouting
times.
down some poor cashier.
If you ever got desperate
Another
enough,
2 and she
Cassandra,
was
you'd
back
make a
on the
hell of a
level.
PI.
It was an alibi
Verbal
airtight enough to
contracts.
suffocate.
They worth anything?
About as much as the air they're
That
written
about
on.
fair me?
Seriously.
The way I operate,
I don't
Cassidy,
joke,
even I'm
Cassandra.
cleared until this case
The
is
universe
closed.
does it for
Think
me.
Cecil has an alibi like
Fine,
this?
then
Cecil's
I get
there
out of
all
here.
night.
Run
Running
off to one of the
around
far
with
arms of the
him.
galaxy or whatever. What do you
That
think
says
my
a lot
odds are?
about either Cecil
Of
or
escaping
me.
the Kanagawas and their
You pick
cameras,
which.
pretty high.
Pretty sure Cecil's televised himself killing a guy
Yeah,
before
when you
Cass
explode
was
on the way
detected
there,
grounded
there
in
won't
the
be much left to
Kanagawa
film.
household.
Cecil's been blowing
Think
through
about it.
money
Your
like it's
family
a
has a few
sales
thousand
barrel.
creds
He got
on
the
every
collector's
spaceport
bug
running off
real
Mars.
bad.
Knock it off, Juno.
Hollow
You're
stands or
going
something?
too far.
So you'll look for a
Old
hobbyist willing to
actually.
take you out to
Keeps making him
Neptune
sell
or
them all
somewhere,
back,
someone
but
who won't
he's
sell you
grounded
out for even the
until
10
he
trillion
controls
You're
creds
always
you're
like this,
worth.
you jerk.
Should be easy to
Come
find.
in
You
here
just gotta find
pretending
someone
you
who doesn't
care,
like money
but
and
you don't
doesn't
care
have
about
eyes.
anyone, do
Always
you?
thought the world would be a
Fine,
lot
long
safer
story
with Cecil
short,
locked up.
you're stuck. You're gonna be rotting away in this
What were
nut
you
house
doing
for a
last night,
long,
Cass?
long
You look pretty
time.
upset at
Well,
that
we'll
cashier.
see who rots first.
Shopping around for
Hell of a
interstellar
teddy bear. You
ballers,
sleep with
you
that thing?
better know.
I trusted you.
This
You
doesn't have
promised
anything
me
to do
you'd
with
get
that
me
big
out of
dream
here.
of yours, does
I
it?
told you everything I couldn't tell my own family, and you just spit on it.
Yeah, it sounds like
It
me.
isn't going to be a show.
Keep packing,
Cecil has
Cass.
shows.
Agent
Dad
Glass and
has
I should
shows.
have this wrapped up by
This
tomorrow
is gonna
afternoon.
be art, you moron. Documentaries across
You can't
every
go to the
habitable
Outer
planet
Arms,
in the
but
galaxy.
that's not the only place
a
to
project
hide in this
so
galaxy.
Big, nobody's ever even tried it
I'll
before.
show you some when this
I'm
is
gonna
through.
show everyone.
This time
how
tomorrow,
people really
we'll be
live.
out of here, Cass.
Show them there are places out
I
there that aren't like
always
this
keep
city.
my promises.
Show them how many ways
Expect me to
people
believe
figure
that?
out how to be people.
I don't need you to.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't like to
told me
rile
your dad wasn't
Cassandra
gonna
up
let you
like
do
that,
it.
but I had to know.
Said it'd never make
The
any
girl
money.
had a trigger finger with the
Still
chicken
probably
pox,
won't.
and I knew it wouldn't
But
take much for her to pull out what she
Changed his
had.
mind.
So, Juno, is she our lucky lady?
We had enough
I
in the
don't think
budget
so.
for one new
She
show,
pulled a
so
Neo
Cecil and I
Derringer
were each
personal
gonna
artillery on me.
Cecil's was good,
My
too.
poor
Would've
detective.
more than made up for all
Doesn't
his
that
stupid
make
torture
you
machines.
suspicious?
If she wanted to kill
how much
Croesus,
this meant
she
to me.
wouldn't have needed to go through all that
Tell me.
trouble with the mask. The NDPA makes a hole big enough to throw a golf ball through without touching any of the
Fair
sides.
enough. Just one last question.
All right.
Do you not get
Let's
what
look for
done
men.
talking means?
What were you looking for in here?
I don't need
Rex
to
and I
answer
tried
that.
to find
You
the
have my
woman of the
alibi.
house, but
That's
she was
enough.
busy telling the world
Like,
her
you're
husband
sure
was
though.
alive.
Trust me, Juno, there are
So
some
Rex
mysteries
flashed
you
his
don't wanna
fancy
solve.
dark matters
Some things-
badge and all his teeth at an old man
things
who
are just
looked like
personal.
Croesus might have one day if his head
Why
hadn't
not tell me what you
exploded,
were looking for,
and we
then we
took
can discuss
Grimm's
which
mask and got
category
out
this
of
falls
there.
If you want to know, you'll have to get a warrant and a brace for those broken ribs.
Which broken?
Hold this.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Those broken
What a
ribs.
thrill off to a secret triad base,
Later,
ancient
Juno.
treasure in
Good
hand.
luck with the whole death curse
Why,
thing.
Juno.
Hey, wait a second. At least tell me where we're supposed to find Cecil.
Afraid of a few
Probably in his
gangsters,
stupid
are you?
workshop.
Of course
Where the
not.
hell is that?
Why don't
Or
you
those
prove it to me
creepy
then?
tomb doors
Show
in
me how
Dad's
brave
collection.
you are.
You're kidding me.
Have fun in there.
I had to hand it to
Sure Cecil's
Glass.
big machines
He had a
don't
nice
get you
voice.
first. After all,
Or good cologne,
there's
too.
a monster on the loose.
You didn't notice it till he came really, really close.
So, where are we headed?
The
Rex, you find anything over there?
Triad's got two
Oh,
primary
did Cassandra
exports
leave?
running out of
Oh, it's a
Hyperion.
pity. I wanted to
Corpses
ask her
and
about these
chow
doors.
mein.
What, are they haunted or
Work's
something?
closed, so we're going to dinner.
Detective, how bold!
Sure there's nothing else over there?
I'd
That
love
was
to, of
pretty
course.
quick.
But be forewarned. I'm a very expensive date.
7 hours after death, detective. We have to keep moving.
Big
Back in the
golden
HCPD,
gate in
they
the
always told
front,
us 24 hours.
strings of
Well,
Christmas
that
lights
certainly
along the
explains a lot about
wallpaper,
the Martian crime rate, I'd
stuffed
say.
orangutan hanging by the main
Sure,
entrance,
Rex, whatever you say.
head of the previous owner mounted over the bathroom doors. There must have
Dragged
been
my
100
heels on the way
places
back
in
to the creepy
Hyperion
tomb
City
door.
that looked exactly
Had
like
something
the
big on my
Empire's
mind for
dragon.
one thing, but
And
more
that was by
pressingly, I really
design.
didn't want to know what torture
Triad knew the
machines or
two
ancient
secrets
ghosts
to
or
endless money
goddamn
in the
dinosaurs
restaurant
were
business.
looking back there making that
Nostalgia and sodium.
noise.
Ugh. Why anyone has any fondness for this era of Americana, I'll never understand.
Say that a little louder, Glass. I don't think everyone in the kitchen heard
like
you.
an abandoned tomb,
Ah,
so much
Mr.
as an
Steele,
abandoned spaceship.
here you are
Sound
at last.
disappointed.
Not
We've
at
been
all.
expecting you.
Some of the strongest
You brought a
paranormal
guest.
activities have taken
Right
place
this
in
way,
some
please. Right this way.
Space
We have a table
pirates'
ready for you, and the
curses
chefs
and
are
alien
already
specters.
preparing your
You don't
usual.
really buy all that stuff, do you?
Well,
I believe in things
horrible
bigger than
decor,
us.
excellent
In things
service.
outside of our
How often do you come here, Juno?
The universe
I've
is
never
full
been
of
here
mysteries,
before.
Juno.
Didn't call
Where we
ahead
go when
either.
we die, why
Then
some
how-
objects seem to bring luck or misery
You don't
wherever
suppose
they
we're being
go.
followed, do you?
What
This is
strange
Hyperion
forces
City,
causes
Rex.
two strange
You're always
forces to
being
be
followed.
Well,
Best you can hope for
No
is the
mystery to
person
that
that's
last one, Rex.
following
I
you
can buy
wants
it by
you
the
alive
bottle
till
as long
next
as you
week.
have a valid form of
Your
ID.
table, gentlemen.
Ah,
What
I
has
see
you
you've
so
saved us the best seat
Here,
in the
there's
house.
a name for it, but I never asked.
The one
Psychiatrists
surrounded
give
by
me
all the
creeps.
other
Really?
completely empty
I want
best
to work
seats.
with you, Juno, but if I'm going to do
Glass
so, you'll
wasn't
have
kidding.
to cooperate.
The place was
Look,
so
last
big
time
it
I
gave
did
your
this with Comic
echoes
Gala, it's like
echoes.
Messed up, okay?
Huge, with nearly
something really
200
stupid and they wanted
tables
to get me
scattered
for it ever
across.
Which
And
was?
we were the
Yeah,
only
no,
ones there.
Not getting into that.
We thought a
This
more
is a trap, then.
intimate
That was pretty clear.
setting might please
Well,
you.
allow me to
We're not
alleviate
here
your
for
fears,
intimate.
detective.
We're
It
here
is
for your boss.
definitely a trap.
Well,
Hey,
if
would
you'd
you
like
look
to
at
see
that?
the
My fears just
manager,
up
I
That's
think you may have
incredible, Rex. Thanks
misunderstood
for the
my
amazing
friend,
secret
sir.
and stuff.
He asked for your
It's
boss,
simple.
not your
Cassandra
manager.
was far too willing
Find
to
whoever
allow
your
me to
manager's
tamper with
manager
her
calls his
Lynn
manager's
has
manager,
invited
and
me
you'll
to
be
her
halfway to
home,
the man
sent
we're
her
looking
off to you,
for.
But she
Well,
herself
I-
is nowhere to be found.
Just a
Simply everyone has been leading us here to this hallway.
Interesting
with
method,
those
Glass.
horrible noises.
With any luck, we won't see him again.
It seems
Middlemen
absolutely certain
depress
that they
me.
all want us to come
How do
here.
you plan to get to the manager then?
I don't. I plan to eat my meal in peace, drink excessively, and wait for the manager to come to us. In the meantime, I plan to get to you.
Certainly rather not find out.
Not much to get.
I doubt that highly.
There's nowhere to hide.
Every human being upon this earth has plenty to
Now, if I
get,
recall
Juno.
correctly,
We are
This really seemed like the
universes
time to
unto
give the wall a
ourselves,
massage.
each of us with billions of stars in uncountable variations.
quickly in here.
With numbers like that, there
Now-
can't help but be a constellation or two.
Your wife.
You've forgotten your manners, sir. Aren't you going to let us smell it?
They told me.
Well, you've now been told
like it
otherwise.
was very close.
The glass.
Interesting
Telling
bouquet.
me where the hell that
Tell me,
super
Juno,
door
does
came from?
balsamic
You got a
vinegar
top
pass for
secret
wine on
classified
Mars?
door making
Depends on how desperate you are.
No different from anywhere else, then. We will not be drinking this, monsieur.
But they told me.
Well, you've been told again. Are you a machine? Exercise some free will and do exactly as I say. Bring us another bottle. What are your constellations, then, Juno?
I'm happy to answer your questions, Glass, but first they need to make sense.
You have a very interesting name. Juno.
Sounds like
Juno.
what the hell are we gonna
Like
do
the goddess, I assume? Protectors, mothers, guardians?
Not sure that's what Mom had in mind. Looked up the name once. Turns out Juno had a habit of killing her kids.
And do you have a mean streak?
Nope. Mom did, though.
You're not the first person
Never
to
killed me, but that wasn't for lack of trying.
That's too bad. It can be handy, I hear. Detectives who know how to get rough every now and again.
Wine.
Swill. Goodbye.
And in the meantime,
You little.
You big! Bye-bye now.
you've just
Bye-bye.
implied that everyone has a monster lurking in the halls
How about
of their
Rex?
minds.
That short for anything?
If we're going to
Nothing
rely
but
on
itself.
each other in this
It
haunted
means
mansion,
king, you know.
is it so
In a
strange that I
language
would
dead
interest
10,000 years.
King Glass.
I'm a little more
huh?
concerned about the shape of
I
the
think
demon
it's
that wants me
fitting.
dead, honestly.
Powerful, confident,
You have a
semi-divine.
very interesting
And a
name.
king, of course, is always in need of a queen.
Juno. Like
The
the
position
goddess,
is open, Juno.
mothers,
I'll
guardians,
pass.
protectors.
Not sure that's
Crown's
what Mom
not a
had
good
in
look
mind.
on me.
No.
Name up once.
There
Turns
are
out
other
Juno was a
royal
real piece of
positions
work.
that need filling,
And a
of
mean streak a
course.
mile
I'm
wide
sure
and a
there
nasty
are.
habit of killing her
A man named
kids.
Solomon had that figured
And
out.
do you
Sounds like
have
a smart
mean
guy.
streak, detective?
Take it back!
Mom did, though.
There are those in every court who hold all
Never
of the,
killed
shall
me,
we
but it
say,
wasn't for lack of
privileges of a queen without any of the responsibilities. Do you
How about
catch
Rex?
my
That
meaning?
mean anything?
No, but I'm listening.
Look at me, Juno.
What?
This is the last bottle. You take this wine or you leave.
Look at
Well,
me.
with a deal like that,
We'll take it.
Look.
I have to say I'm happy to have met you, Juno. I'd always intended to visit Mars one day. Don't drink that, by the way, it's poisoned. And to find that I not only tolerate my guide, I actually find him competent is tremendously relieving.
Poisoned?
Very
To hell and
close.
back again,
It means
detective.
king.
It has been since the
In a
first
language
bottle.
dead 10,000
And with each one we sent back, our
I take
waiter,
my name as a
who,
creed
by
to
my
live by.
estimation, is the second
Control
largest
your
biceps
name
I have ever
and
seen,
control yourself.
consults with that bouncer over there, who has the largest biceps I have ever seen. They're talking now.
Goddess
You don't know how to
of
read lips, do you?
What
I
was
can
that?
read faces
We've wasted
just
enough
fine.
time already. That
And
thing
what
hasn't
do
been
theirs
in use
say?
for a while.
Let's just
Maybe
say we
it's
might be close to finding out where the shredded beef
I
comes
would
from.
advise
Gentlemen,
Looks like the coast
my
is clear,
friends
let's
here
go.
have told me that you appear unsatisfied with the selection of our cellars. Is there anything we can
Juno,
do for you?
It's
do
nothing
want
against
to
the wine,
apologize. I
waiter,
It is,
but
actually.
Agent Glass and I have a little hang-up about starting a
I can tell
meal
you're
before
upset, detective,
everyone's
but
at the
shushing seems
table.
entirely
Oh?
unnecessary.
Is
shut up, don't you
a
hear that?
member of your party missing?
He's feigning ignorance, Juno.
Not very well.
Oh, look at him turn red. Quite a hue. You should consider bottling it, sir.
My manager has
I
stated
get the feeling we've had this conversation
It might be
before.
Barely an hour ago, as I recall.
smart tongues will get you nowhere.
Oh,
Maybe,
I
waiter,
wouldn't
but
say
it's not
that.
just
Tongues
my
are remarkably
tongue that's
versatile
smart.
organs.
Way!
Juno!
Finally, we're getting somewhere.
Is that a man with
It's
a camera
dinner with the
for a
boss
head
you'd like,
hanging
is
from
it?
the ceiling?
Well,
By broad
that
definition.
can be arranged.
And what's the second
Gentlemen,
thing you
I think
wanted
it's
me to do?
customary to take requests for our last meal, take their orders, and then take them into the inner sanctum.
What in the world is that thing?
It's a camera.
Do you have a plan?
One of Cecil's goddamn genetic engineering experiments.
After this?
Don't
Mix up a
die.
DNA cocktail from all the biggest,
On the same page.
fastest, meanest climbers
Cornered.
in the animal
Gun in my
kingdom.
back,
They replace its hands with
two-ton
grappling
hand on
hooks,
my shoulder.
and its head with
We
the
were
best
outnumbered,
cybernetic video
outgunned,
cameras
and out of our element.
money can buy.
You've seen
I
these
had them
before and you
right
didn't
where I wanted
recognize that noise? Thank
That
you,
last meal
yes,
gonna
but the
be-
demonstration is not
I'll
necessary.
pass. I'm saving
looks like a new
them
model.
for dessert.
They didn't have quite so many arms last time I saw them.
It's gaining.
Yeah, I can see that, thanks!
The tale
Maybe
you
think
just
about coming
heard,
up with an idea
Part
instead of
one,
shouting status
Juno
updates
Steele
like
on
a
the
goddamn...
Juno, watch where you're going.
was told by the following people. Joshua Elon as Juno Steele. Noah Symes as Agent Rex Glass. Sophie Kaner as Agent Sasha Wire, Cecil Kanagawa, and Cassandra Kanagawa. Kate Jones as Rita,
moving again.
and Kevin Vibert and Ryan Meyer as the ensemble.
Juno,
On staff at the Penumbra,
why didn't the camera
Ryan
drop
Meyer is our
onto us
recording
immediately
engineer.
when you discovered it?
Kevin Vibert is our
We
lead
looked
writer
up
and
at
sound
it, and it
effects
wasn't
designer.
until we started running
Sophie
that it
Kaner is our
followed.
director, lead editor,
Perhaps
and
it
sound
doesn't want
designer.
to catch us.
Juno's theme was written by Ryan Vibert. The Penumbra was created by Sophie Kaner
Funny way of
and
showing
Kevin Vibert. I'm so sorry
That's
you've
not
been
a
called
bad
away,
point,
dear traveler. We eagerly
If you wanted to
await your
catch
return.
us, drag us off to wherever Cecil wants us, why didn't you just get us then? Or when I fell?
Perhaps it was enjoying the show?
The show! That's it! Quick, Rex! Hit me.
What?
Damn it, do I gotta do everything myself?
That was... Well, I suppose that was good television.
Good television's what it wants. Now, you hit me. Quickly.
Well, if you insist...
Oh. Come on, are you kidding me? That was nothing.
Juno, this is the strangest case.
Hit me! Alright, hit me again and move closer to the door.
Are you sure you shouldn't hit me?
Just do it! Almost there.
Well, that was exhilarating.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go sit down now.
Allow me to...
I can get there on my own.
This mansion is certainly full of surprises.
Can we just be quiet for a second? Please?
Of course. I wonder where we are now. It's so dark in here, but from the sound of it, the room is very large. And these chairs are very strange, aren't they? Such an odd design. Why, from the look of it, they appear to be... Oh dear.
What now?
Didn't Cassandra say that Cecil had been collecting ancient torture devices?
Yeah, but he sold them all off.
Because... Well, I don't know how to break this to you, Detective, but these chairs appear to be...
What the hell?
These bars, the chairs have locked us into place.
Esteemed visitors, elders and gentle children, human beings from across the span of age and space.
Oh, God damn it.
Tonight, for your viewing pleasure, a private investigator and a special agent, two experts of the quick escape, will attempt the most deadly feat to ever air on stream.
We will?
They've avoided the beast of the halls. They've avoided my mother. But can they avoid the throne of spinning blades? Brought to you by the Kanagawa Corporation, this is Cecil Kanagawa's From the Jaws of Death! Hello there, Junebug. Remember me?
Did I remember Cecil Kanagawa? Of course I did. Because if, like Agent Glass says, everyone's mind is like a building with monsters inside, let's call Cecil's mind a demon's apartment complex with room after room of narcissism and sadism and all the isms that should have guaranteed him a lot of professional help. Instead, it got him the most popular entertainment network on Mars.
Do you have a plan, Juno?
Cameramen, it's showtime!
In the light of the room, I could see all of them now. Half a dozen cameramen clambering up onto all those nightmare sets in Cecil's playground of spikes and blades and brand logos. All their lenses were trained on us.
Juno, I asked if you had a plan.
Just one. Bust out of here and then bust Cecil in his twisted little face.
Very helpful, and until then?
Only one thing to do, Rex. Smile for the camera.
If you've enjoyed this tale, please consider supporting the Penumbra on Patreon. Every dollar helps. You can find that page at patreon.com/thpenumbrapodcast. If you support us on Patreon at the $10 level or higher, you will receive access to commentary tracks like this one from actor Noah Symes and co-creators Kevin Vibert and Sophie Kaner.
You know, taking, the lines that you need to keep, the plot points that you need to keep, figuring out where the overlap is in those two, and then not only having to figure out what you fill the rest with, but how does it connect as if it was always supposed to.
We would like to give special thanks to all who support us on Patreon, but especially to Eliza Gray, The Princess and the Scrivener, Hannah Jim, Elizabeth Miller, and Angel Acevedo for their incredibly generous contributions per episode. Thank you. You can also support the Penumbra by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter at the Penumbra Pod, following us on Tumblr at the Penumbra Podcast, telling your friends about us, telling your friends to tell their friends about us, and especially by rating and reviewing our podcast on iTunes. Every rating, comment, and kind word spreads our stories farther and inspires us to keep creating more and better tales to come. This tale, Juno Steele in the Case of the Murderous Mask, was told by the following people: Joshua Elon as Juno Steele, Noah Symes as Agent Rex Glass, Kate Jones as Rita, Sophie Kaner as Agent Sasha Wire, and Leslie Drescher as Cassandra and Cecil Kanagawa. On staff at the Penumbra, Kevin Vibert is our lead writer and recording engineer. Sophie Kaner is our director and sound designer. Graham Turner is our script editor. Original music by Ryan Vibert. Promotional art by Michaela Buckley. The Penumbra is created and produced by Sophie Kaner and Kevin Vibert. I'm so sorry you've been called away, dear traveler. We eagerly await your return.